Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. I'll tell you what the facts are, mister. It's so dramatic. The cop is by far my favorite character.
Yes!
The young cop. Well, he and the old cop. Those two are actually both my favorite characters. So we've got Jordan Christensen on the podcast.
There was people in these cotton candy cocoons, and they were shooting us with popcorn guns. Dude, I burst out laughing when he was explaining that to the cop.
Yeah, it was a little absurd, that's for sure.
Ty, did you like when she was like, keep your shirt on? It's like,
that phrase?
We intend to.
I plan to.
Dude, those... It's like, I have some...
Dude, those comic relief guys, like, the cringe. I was like, oh.
Well, these two morbidly obese women in the back of the ice cream van, he's just like, hey, what kind of girl? Yeah, I intend to. What kind of girls do you think we are? Like, we don't. We assume you're pigs and cows. Like, disgusting, dude. Like, giant.
As they're just like eating the.
They're just eating popsicles, and they're just like, yeah, what's going on? You said we would get women by driving the ice cream truck around. I'm like, dude, oh my gosh.
Yeah, maybe 7-year-old women, child predators.
You said you're getting all kinds of babes driving an ice cream truck. What in the heck? They did find the two type of women I would expect to be into ice cream trucks, though. They did appear to be those kind of...
The freaky
not
clown
the fat
chicks.
shame. I'm a fat person, everyone on the podcast, so I can shame other fat people. It's not a healthy lifestyle. I want to get better and I want to lose weight, despite what everyone else tells you. And we've got Cameron Mickle on the podcast.
We'll all be greased and fried. What in the blue blazes is the circus doing up in these parts? You missed the best character of all.
Oh, his puppy. Oh.
Little Joey, I know. Little hound, the little Paisley dog. What was the dog's name?
Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear.
Yeah. I was going to say it was Tigger for some reason.
I can't take it seriously when you're screaming, Pooh Bear, give me back
Pooh Bear. Yeah, why? Like, who? I don't know. It was just it's a weird name. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Does anyone else have a dog they named Pooh Bear?
They named Pooh Bear.
Didn't even look like Pooh Bear. It looked more like Tigger or Eeyore. Definitely Eeyore.
I was kind of hoping they were going to eat some of the cotton candy and then realize, oh my gosh, I'm eating my friend.
They have a moment where they're like, dip their fingers in the ice cream
from
one of the policemen. And I was like, they're going to eat it. And they're like, oh, it's like, not so fast. And they're like, it was a cop or whatever. It's the remnants of a cop. I was like, oh my gosh, they almost ate him. The two ice cream brothers. Always managed to land on their feet, those brothers.
Yeah, what are
they always had to land on their feet.
The commentary and the acting.
Oh my gosh. Guys, this movie has the same Rotten Tomatoes score as Last Night in Soho. What? What the fudge, dude? Seriously, like, even if I took the premise that this was like intentionally comical or intentionally campy, this movie's so corny. Oh my gosh, it's so corny. Like, this is so insane. It's clownish. There, I said it. This movie's insane, guys. We're reviewing Killer Klowns from Outer Space. This movie came out in 1988. It was directed by Stephen Chiodo.
Ty, who made this place? Clown are us?
Clowns are us. That was an outdated... That's a joke that wouldn't even fly today, dude. Freaking Toys R Us is out of business.
It looks like it was decorated by Clowns Are Us.
Clowns Are Us? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's insane.
Popcorn? Why popcorn? Because they're clowns, that's why.
Because they're clowns. Don't think about it too
Many
much.
moons. Many moons.
Many moons. What the fuck? What is it, this song? They actually have a
he's trying to
song.
make it like...
They have an original score for this movie, and they say some make you laugh and some make you cry. And I was like, when has a clown ever made anyone laugh in the history of our planet on this earth? Can someone explain to me when a clown has actually made someone actually laugh? I mean, never has happened. Never invited a clown to a birthday party that made the kids laugh, sent them careening in terror. I remember articles coming out after the movie It came out, and they're like, oh, clowns are having a hard time getting gigs at birthday parties because everyone's terrified to death of clowns. It's like, guess what? This long predated It, okay? Stephen King actually based it off William Gacy, who was actually a murderer that was a clown. Look this up. I'm not making this stuff up. It's terrifying. Anyway.
And
That's
just
where a lot
as
of
a
people-
preface,
serial killers-
this movie is the sequel to Joker.
It's a prequel sequel of the
It's
before
the
and
missing piece
after.
of the
Yeah,
trilogy.
it's the essential key to understanding Joker and his motives.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
you-
understand anyone's motives. This movie made absolutely no sense. What was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? Let's start with you, Jordan.
Oh no. So the first time I actually enjoyed it, but then rewatching it, I'm like, I don't know why I enjoyed this.
Why did you make us watch this movie?
I thought it was good. I don't know what happened because watching it again, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is painful. Like
Painful.
I do like the practical effects. I guess maybe that's what I enjoyed about it. Like
Like the clowns, like the clown makeup or the costumes or
Wait.
whatever the animatronics
I mean,
they had.
but there's times I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing at this part or I'm.
Oh my gosh, you want to talk about, I didn't know what. Who are you going to believe, me or this little tramp? Dude, Mooney is my favorite character. Just got to throw that out there.
I just
Can't wait
wish
to
I'd
talk
watched
about
it with a group of friends just to laugh.
You're in
Yes.
Mooney's jail. You ain't got no rights.
Dude, I don't know whether to be more scared of Mooney, the police officer, or to be afraid of the killer clown. That was a terrifying scene, and not for the reasons the director probably made us think. This movie is crazy. Freaking Mooney, dude. I think he's the real most terrifying part of this whole series,
Yeah, or
this whole movie. I mean,
What are you gonna do with those pies, boys?
Ty, did you think of the Three Stooges at the end when they get hit in the face with the pies? Just be like, oh, I threw the pies.
Yes, it had the same ending as a Three Stooges gag. I literally put that. I was like, pies in the face at the end. Like, that's it? Like, that's the ending. Like, oh, I guess, where did the pies come from? Did they come flying out of the spaceship?
Who
Like,
threw
where-
the pies?
Who threw the pies? Tell me, I'm dying to know. Who threw those pies, Professor? Oh, I threw the pies. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And I'm assuming they're going to turn to acid now because we see a character literally get pied to death earlier in the film. So I'm assuming that they're dead. Like,
Why is that the
I don't-
funniest line? Pied to death.
Pied to death. Dude, that's going on. That should go on a t-shirt, Get pied to death or something. I don't know. Killer clowns from outer space. Get pied to death. Or I don't know. That doesn't even sound scary. It's so stupid. Oh my gosh. Guys, the cotton candy. The craziest straw in any movie I've ever seen. He just plucks it right into the heart of this cotton candy ball and just starts sucking it dry. It's just like the camera follows this crazy straw all the way up to the again. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or if it's supposed to be like really disturbing. It's like neither. It's like just boring.
Like when he was like, I'll tear this thing apart with my bare hands. This thing is wired.
Yeah, he's like ready to tear open the tent. Little Farmer Joe. I'm gonna call him Farmer Joe. I don't know, the weird guy at the beginning. They had a name for him though. What was his name? They're like, hey, that's Mr. I had the weirdest name. What was his
Farmer
name?
Gene Green.
Farmer Gene Green. Like, that's Farmer Gene Green. Like, he kept referring to his full name. I'm like, why does everyone know this farmer? I guess he has quite a reputation about town. I guess they'll make out on his property, so I guess they all become familiar with who he is. Oh, I
top
can't believe
of
the
the
circus is in town.
Yeah.
So crazy. Oh my gosh. I felt nothing. When I'm terrified of clowns. I wasn't really terrified of these things. I don't know what they were. These killer clowns. from
Yeah,
outer
I was
space
like
were-
waiting for the punchline. I felt like it never kind of came. It was like, oh, am I supposed to be terrified? Like, when he's like,
the
what you
clowns
gonna do?
literally-
Knock my block up?
Who creatively? I feel like they have made a choice early on. They're like, we can't make it look like they're talking, so they're just gonna speak alien babble. I really think that's what, like, they're gonna speak psychobabble, just high pitched Alvin Chipmunk noises.
But one of them turned into the predator and pretended to be the girl, the boyfriend's
Yes,
voice.
boyfriend.
That's the craziest thing. But see, again, it was off screen. I guarantee you, there was somewhere along the line they're like, we can't get these clown faces to look like they're talking. See, again, it happens off screen. And again, you know what this gave me mad vibes about? I wouldn't be surprised if the same makeup artist that did this movie did Ernest Scared Stupid. But even Ernest Scared Stupid is a better and more thrilling film than this is. Like, holy crap. Probably had a bigger budget too. This movie's insane. And Ernest Scared Stupid actually scared me when I was a kid. Watching this, it probably would have scared me. There's plenty of clowns in this movie with ugly teeth, like close-up shots. There was like 8 different reaction shots from the local pharmacist. That guy gets like so much screen time reacting silently to the clowns, just making a muck in his pharmacy, and he does nothing. He just sits there and watches it happen. He's just like, oh, like 18 different reactions from this
And
guy.
Ty,
and
when
they
he
just
when he
never-
calls the police station, he's like, "These brothers got the entire town in on it. You're
I
not
know.
fooling me.
Moody-
With all you."
Moody ignores 3 legitimate calls to the police station as like a prank, and then actual clown shows up at his office, and he locks him in the slammer and tells him that he has no rights. If he did believe he was a prankster, why would he be breaking the law by not even reading this guy his Miranda rights? You don't have no rights in here. This is Moody's jail. That guy's insane. That guy is the most terrifying villain of this whole thing. You know, you got him. He's like, oh, you like, well, I don't remember how he said it. He's like, oh,
What do
you got a kid? The cop's like, hey, man, settle down.
I love so much
intense.
when it's like there's clearly just a balloon there, but then all of a sudden it cuts away, and then all of a sudden you see her behind like a balloon.
A balloon thing, just hitting, like silently pretending to hit on it. Oh, man, it's so painful.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
Dude, like the Mooney's first introduction when the guy, I don't even know who this character is. He's walking with like soda and he's got 2 bags of food. He's walking across the street and the cop's like, yeah, SOB, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, why is he
The first
guy?
line of
And
the
then
movie
guy-
is that.
and then
It's
he's like,
right
yeah,
after
he's
the
like,
song, and he's like, son of a b.
little SOP. And then the guy's like, cops. You know, like they hate each other. And I guess it's just like age kind of thing going on. But like, why the animosity? Does he know that guy? Like, I guess he just, but I'm like, he wasn't doing anything like that I would associate with a delinquent or a juvenile.
No,
delinquent, right?
he had
Like,
alcohol. It was beer, Ty.
okay, but was he going to arrest him for drinking underage? Like, it didn't seem like he
It's
was. I
because
guess
he's
a
those
college
darn
student, right?
teens, Ty.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's so many weird things. Like, I don't even remember. I wrote this down. I don't even know if this is an actual line from the movie. Give our. Oh, these were the Popsicle Brothers.
Yeah.
Give our and it will tickle all the way down.
Jeez.
Jeez.
I thought they were the killer clowns.
I thought they were going to be like in cahoots with the clown. Yeah, I really did.
I
was
thought
like,
they
oh,
were
they're
in
gonna be
disguise or something like that, and then it's just like, oh, they're just really weird
Yeah,
brothers.
even better yet, Cameron. I did think that briefly until the fat cow shows up in the pig in the back of their van, and they're like, "We're just trying to get girls."
God.
Like, I was like, "Oh, they are like clowns." I thought they were the ones that were like, "Oh, come get some ice cream," and it was going to turn into like the killer clowns from outer space. Way more interesting and compelling than who they really were. Literally, 2 brothers that rented an ice cream van so they could sell ice cream to get chicks. That's their whole
And you know,
purpose.
that's
to
actually-
find
that's-
a girl with like literally.
And that's no time. Did you know that's the ideal time to sell ice cream at 7:00 at night?
To teens at night that are trying to make out. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. That's when they want an ice cream. When they're just so sick and tired and raw from making out and snogging all night long. They need a nice, cold, refreshing.
Okay, you know another
popsicle.
moment that made me laugh though was when
soothe their
they're
lips.
doing the shadows on the walls, and then the guy in the crowd goes boo.
Yeah.
dude, okay, these aliens made George Washington crossing the Delaware scene with his hand. So I'm like, first of all, the alien had 3 fetching fingers, okay? So he made no such shape and shadow on the wall, okay? And neither did he make a real T-Rex or whatever. But anyway, I just had to point that out. A T-Rex with a red glowing eye, by the way, which again, was the magic? I don't know. So they have some semblance of understanding of like U.S. history. So like, how long have these aliens been here?
Also
I have
understand
so
what
many
peekaboo
questions.
is with that little girl and
The
the
little
worst
girl,
parenting
peekaboo.
of all
Oh
time.
my gosh, the mom just like, oh no, you can't go out there.
Not till you finish. Not till you
your
finish.
food.
I'm like,
Then you
how
can go to the
about?
murderous clown.
Yeah, I'm like.
Yeah, once
Can
you
we
finish your
address-
food, you can then be treated to being murdered
And I like
by
how
a
no one saw the
clown.
killer clown just with a giant hammer behind his back, like pointing to the kid, like, "Come here." I'm like,
my
is anyone
gosh.
gonna say anything or do
That part
anything?
was really unsettling. See, that reminded me of Ernest Scared Stupid with the whole troll thing when he would use the kids' voices or their parents'
Yeah.
voices, and they would think like, oh, like their guard would go down, and then it's the fetching troll. Like, yeah, there was that. And again, I guarantee you that happened somewhere along the line. They're like, we can't get these animatronics to look like they're talking. It's too distracting. Let's just do Alvin the Chipmunk antics where they're just like walking. I was like, this is so painful. It was so cringe. All they had to do was grunting, but like they did like a comical high squeaking.
There seemed to be so many like clever ideas, but I just don't know how I felt when they did
nothing
them.
was executed.
Yeah, because like I liked like him like folding a balloon and then it turning into a dog and then it like.
Okay, now I have to rephrase my statement because I said, has a clown ever made someone laugh? That made me laugh. That was actually funny. The dog was like, like shaking on his little leash.
And then he gets run over by the car.
But I mean, was that the dog?
Hilarious.
Was that the clown that was making me laugh? It was actually the balloon animal that turned into like an actual sniffing out dog. That made me laugh. That was actually really funny. I actually laughed out loud. So maybe I guess clowns can make me laugh. I guess it was just so random. Like, okay. I mean.
I was like, what is he doing? I thought he was gonna like, I don't. And then the popcorn too. I didn't understand how that was like. They were the little monster. It's like the seed.
You know what's really funny?
It's like how they.
I don't get it. It was so funny when the meteorite came from space or whatever. It made me think so much of Monsters vs. Aliens. When the first couple, Mike Tobacco and his girlfriend Debbie, they're sitting in the car and they're like making out or whatever, and he's like, Debbie's like, I want to go see that meteorite, and he's like, that could be 1,000 miles away. He's got the highest pitched shrill voice, by the way. This is our hero, by the way. He's like, it could be 1,000 miles away. It's like, come on, Debbie, don't you just want to finish your champagne? Like,
like who's drinking champagne in high school?
Yeah.
In a car?
Ty, did you notice
Like,
she was like the one that really wanted to see it, but then as soon as they got there, she was the one that was terrified.
Get the freak out of there. Well, then again, she wanted to see an asteroid, and instead of seeing a molten rock, there's an actual full set-up circus tent with no one
What is
manning
it doing out
in the middle of
here?
nowhere. What's it doing out here? I'm very interested. Let's go inside. Yeah, that was crazy. Anyway, and my favorite thing, I watched this movie with subtitles because I was like, I'd love to hear the actual lines of dialogue because they were unbelievable at times. And most of them, every time the clown laughed, it says laughing evilly, which is a great description of how they were laughing. Their mouths would like move, their lips would move in like three parts. They'd be like, it just says laughing evilly, and I love that. That's a great subtitle. Just to give deaf people a perception of what's going on, or some concept of what's going on. These clowns are maniacal, but we don't know where they come from. We don't know anything about their motives. We have no idea. We do learn that shooting them in the nose kills them, which is great. I like that. That's funny, kind of. It's not funny, really. It's just like, oh, like...
clever.
Yeah, you get a clown in their nose and it will kill them. Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess that works, but...
And you want, Ty, do you want to give us a plot synopsis? That way people understand what's going on.
Yeah, we probably should. There's killer clown. Well, there is no plot to this movie. It just says aliens who look like clowns come from outer space to terrorize a small town. That's it. That's the plot that IMDb gives, and that's all that happens. Nothing happens.
Hey, they do the same thing in War of the Worlds. They harvest the blood. The same thing. They come to suck our blood.
They cocoon people in cotton candy. Cotton candy. They cut away from the first victim when he's screaming. The farmer Gene Green or whatever. He's like screaming, and they like cut his death out. I guess they didn't have the budget to show him like, I don't know, whittling away to ice cream or a molten pile of like innards or something. He just like screams. He's like, ah! And it just cuts. Like it just cuts like halfway through his scream. I know. I just
Ty, that's to leave it up to your imagination. It's a director's choice.
Right.
I hate this movie.
Oh my gosh, I love that. It's just like, it's scum like you that's ruining this town. You know, it's like, what's the matter? You got a thing for these boys? You're a little.
Yeah, it's the thing where he's like, why don't you stay on campus? And he's like, we don't have to just stay on campus. We live here, too. I'm like, what are these lines? Who's the writer? And
really weird.
He needs to be put in a cocoon of cotton candy and have the blood sucked out of him, dude.
And I love what he does. He's like, look, if you're gonna book him, do it according to procedure. Like he's the rule cop, right? He's the Boy Scout.
But then immediately forgets the rule book when it's his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. He's just like, put your hands behind your back. I'm like, what the fudge? Because he told a lie, he's gonna arrest him. I was like, okay. I don't know.
I also didn't get it. Like, wait, was the chief of many moons supposed to make us feel something for the couple, right? He's like, oh, many, many, many moons. Like, I was supposed to feel something for this couple, but yeah, I didn't feel anything for them. Yeah, like, I know they were trying to make me feel something, but I couldn't have cared less.
You couldn't feel the romance? Are you kidding me? Have you no soul?
And you mentioned lines like, he's like, oh, this is the new European circus they were talking about.
Yeah. Also, when they're in in the car just like cuddling on a blown up raft. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right. Well, see, and that's the
sitting in
scene
the
where he like
back of their-
pretends to be like an Indian war chief. He like jumps on his car. And he's like, ooh,
in the weirdest
yeah.
situation. I was like, I'm so
Again, I was like, is this supposed to make me feel more for this couple? when they
Reminded
finally
me
meet
of
their
Tom Cruise
demise?
jumping on the couch from the interview.
I'm in love with Cindy Campbell. Of course, I'm quoting Scary Movie 4, but anyway. So yeah, she was freaked out about the circus tent, but would have been happy to approach like a radioactive burning meteorite or whatever, you know. Probably radioactive meteorite, who knows, right?
I did like when the police is answering phone calls and then he's like, they took your wife away in a balloon? You don't need the police, you need a psychiatrist.
That's a good comeback, dude. It was great. Oh my gosh.
Another part that made me laugh was, jokes come in threes. And so he's like, another door.
Yeah, another door. It's like whinier and nasalier. Another door. It made me think of Willy Wonka. I was like, did they use the set from Willy Wonka's factory, dude? Like unused footage and unused props
it's
from Willy
unused
Wonka's
footage
factory.
from Squid Games.
It's from Squid Games. They were so crazy. Like they go in and they're exploring this circus tent and they're like, what is this? Is this like a nuclear reactor? Is this a silo? Is this an experiment? Is this a what? And she's like, no, we're inside the meteor. I don't know why she would come to
just
that
rejecting
conclusion.
everything. I was like,
It was insane.
You have
But there's
no
a really
idea.
funny scene where they're both looking at this elevator. They push all these buttons, which makes like a comical sound. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. And they're like all, it's clown buttons, right? And then like the elevator door opens. Watch the scene. She like grabs her boyfriend and they like fall into the elevator together. So I'm like, she literally just pushes him in with herself. Like it makes no sense. Like it didn't appear that they were pulled in. And in fact, later in the movie, they never get pulled in. She just like she pushes him and herself in the elevator. I guess it was like they never would have gotten the elevator unless they had accidentally stumbled into it. It just made no sense. Like watch the scene. They just like they like fall into the elevator. It makes no sense.
the scene with the little girl and the hammer clown outside. She starts like reacting before she even sees the clown. She starts like doing the face of like, oh hi, like the shy look before she even sees the clown. You watch it again and you see as she's turning, she's doing the shy look. Because I guarantee you the director is just like, can you just be shy? And then she did the entire freaking scene. And I'm like, you haven't even seen the clown yet and you're shy. I was just like, oh my gosh, dude.
That is so funny.
And then somehow I got past editing and they're like, yeah, we'll roll with it.
And then there was another line where he's like, where is this a big cotton candy factory? And she's like, nobody stores cotton candy like this. I'm like, you mean like with dead guys in it? Like, what are you talking
I love it too. Yeah, it even looks like cocoons. And the best part is he's like, it's a cotton candy factory. And she's like, have you ever seen someone store cotton candy like this? And he's like, no. Then I was like, what do you think is that? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Killer clowns from... It's an actual line from the thing, too. They're like, it's killer clowns from outer space when they go to the police precinct, Oh, it's so great. He's like, holy shit. It's killer clowns. He's like, you gotta believe me. You're gonna believe this. Me or this little tramp. He goes, I know you, you little fart. And then he's like, the girl used to date the young cop, which I thought was weird because I'm assuming, is she still meant to be a high schooler? Or are these college students? They never make it clear. I never hear them mention professors. I never hear him make him. It just is a very weird relationship because again, there's a scene where he's driving Debbie home, the young cop, and he's like, "Hey, it's different now because I used to date you," and she's like, "You can't protect me." Or so it's weird. It's just like I know that. I don't know. It just reminded me of like
Doesn't change how I feel.
Doesn't change how I feel about you. Yeah, that's so great,
What
dude.
the fudge?
And then the boyfriend, Mike Tobacco's like, he's probably gonna take me to the top of the hill and shoot me.
That was a funny one.
I was like, probably Mooney would. He'd have no problem. He has definitely covered up some evidence and definitely pinned it on the wrong guy before. You know that Mooney detective, he's also killed somebody and buried it and covered it up, dude. Oh boy, it's crazy. Oh man, gosh. Oh, hey, we should say two of our favorite things. You guys have any two favorite things from this movie? It was bonkers.
I loved the farmer.
Farmer was your favorite
The
part.
farmer, he just like was so over top. We're gonna be rich. There's gonna be cops there. There's gonna be news people. We're gonna be filthy rich.
My favorite was the young detective, John Allen Nelson, the actor. He played Dave Hansen, and he's like the young, quippy, fast, like, let me tell you what's going on. Like, I don't know. He just made me laugh. He was so dramatic. He was cool. He carried the shotgun around.
Oh, he reminds me...
Self-sacrificing.
Did you think of Johnny Lawrence a little bit? He kind of looks like him.
Johnny Lawrence. Oh, yeah. He kind of does look like him. Karate Kid, yeah.
Jordan, after watching Scary Movie,
William
all
Zabka.
these movies, like especially the bad ones, just become that much cheesier to me.
Yeah, because they just didn't go far enough, I feel like in, Troll 2, where I just feel like I laughed more at, like, the doves, maybe. I'm trying to figure out, like...
Yeah, it's...
That's at the beginning, okay, the first, like, 15 minutes of this movie, I was like, I would show this to a group of people. And then, I couldn't pay attention after the first 15 minutes. I was on my phone just to get through it.
Yeah, it like very quickly loses. I mean, it's weird though. People's reactions.
The moment they show the drugstore clerk, from then on until they go back into the ship, it's the weirdest, slowest movie ever. And it's to put it in perspective, it's an hour 20. So there's about 20 minutes before that's funny, and then 20 minutes at the end that's funny. There's like 40 minutes of just like padded runtime of some store clerk looking at clowns like.
Yeah, his reaction shots were great, dude. I mean, I love it. They go and investigate. Dave and Mike go investigate the tent because Dave wants to believe Mike and Debbie, and so they get to the crash site. The tent's gone. There's no meteorite crash or anything. And then he's just like, we saw it here, and that's a fact. And he goes, I'll tell you what the facts are, mister. Look, I love this cop. He's so good. Like, the lines he's delivering, he's ready to take him in. And then, like, I don't even know what happens from then and there. And then the clowns are just walking about town causing mayhem, like eating people at a bus stop. All those people, like, all applauding the shadows being cast by the clown. It's so absurd. It's just... These gangsters, they just smash this little bike. He rides up on this little plastic tricycle or whatever, and he's like, oh, nice ride, man. He just smashes it, and he's like, oh, like you want him to die in that moment. And that's why I'm like, wait, so are we rooting for the clowns? Like, they're only killing really despicable people. But then you're like, oh, they did try to murder a child at the restaurant earlier. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. Like, is it like, what is their motive? Are they just have to cocoon people to drink on their blood? Are they here to stay? Do they just relocate in different parts of the earth? Like, are they actual circus clowns that pass as circus clowns, and this is what they really do on their spare time?
Clearly, if you don't understand that tie, the movie went over your head.
I know. Well, there's a great scene where, like, Dave or Mike, one of them, or the ice cream guys, they're rattling off all these possible conspiracies. They're like, oh, I bet these were like a government program.
Don't
like,
talk, Ty, don't talk. You're going to give away our position.
Yeah, and he's like, stop. Yeah, he's like, stop explaining possible explanations. You're going to give away our position. Oh, it's insane. What are you going to do? Knock my block off? Wham! His head goes flying into a dumpster. Everyone just screams and runs away. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And Mooney, again, at the police station, the guys that are jailed, he's like, rich, I'd shoot them all. He's like, it's probably Mooney that gives all the kids hatred and fear of cops. Like, seriously. He ignores all those phone calls. And then Dave and Mike are writing back from the police station, and it's so great. He's like, yeah, I guess Debbie chose you. She goes for laughs and not stability. And I'm like, ouch, dude. Like, what a thing to say. Like, oh, you're just the clown and I'm the stable guy. Like, I don't know. Dave, man, low blow to Mike.
Yeah. There might be something you tell your best friends and not her current boyfriend.
It's obvious she goes for laughs, not stability. Ow.
Just saying it to his face. I was like, okay.
Well, and then, like, when they're driving, they either see the clowns or I can't remember. Then he, like, reaches over and tries to push on the accelerator while Dave's driving. It's like, oh,
dude, that driving scene is so funny.
To murder them. It's insane. So he, like, slams down and he's like, what are you doing, buddy? He's like, you could have gotten us both killed.
And I love it. He's like, sorry, I kind of just lost control.
I have no idea why he, like, slammed on the accelerator next to, I don't even remember why he did it.
It's because he was trying to run over the clown that just ate the people that were witnessing the show. that got eaten by the shadow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because he witnesses that, and then he's like, "Go" or something.
Yeah, he's like, kill that thing.
the clown car, right?
He's like,
yeah,
hold
they're
on.
trying to.
He's like, hold on, and then he just slams on the gas, and they crash right into the wall.
He just reaches over. To hit
Same thing with
gas.
the two brothers in the ice cream truck. The cop car's right behind him. And he just slam on the brakes, and the cop car just slams right into them. I'm like, he's like, the cops, man. And he slams on the brakes. I'm like, if you did that to a cop, he would be so pissed.
Well, and then they like come out and they're like, "Hey, but what about the girls? Like, forget them. They eat too much." That's actually what they say about the two obese women. And then it's like, it would take too long to explain, which I thought was really funny. Again, like.
And
I'm
Ty,
like,
did you see all the kisses on their face that they were kissing those girl clowns?
Yeah.
Is that were they kissing the girl
Yeah, 'cause
clowns?
that's
I didn't know what
there
was
was
all over them. It was disgusting.
It was-
like,
Yeah, it was
alien
kisses. It was
ectoplasm,
kisses.
popsicles,
And
kisses.
so it's, I guess, referencing
Which,
them.
mind you, I don't know what that was about. That was really weird. Like, oh my gosh. They're like, oh, because they're like obsessed with women with. Anyway, it's like Frank Reynolds running around like, oh, I got to get broads with really, it's like what drives their character. It's insane. These are ice cream guys. I don't get it. And like, he literally says like, oh, we'll get in the car. We'll explain. But he goes, it would take too long to explain. And I'm like, there are killer clowns that are killing everyone. Like, it is that easy to explain. And they literally say the line of dialogue. And I'm like, that's all there is to explain. There are killer clowns killing everyone. Not that hard.
Well, and they
Not
didn't
that long to
think like,
explain.
oh, maybe let's make up a story. Like, there's just people killing people. Like, instead of saying there's killer clowns, because I think people would
Wrapped
just
in
be...
cotton candy. Yeah, you say
Or,
like...
or just say people are dressed up looking like clowns killing
Yeah,
people.
just say, yeah,
Just
there's people...
start with the most sane thing, and then
Yes.
when they see the surreal, they can then make their own assessment. Don't go into the cotton candy. That's not relevant. Like, they
There's
never
cotton
give
candy
themselves the benefit of
cocoons, and they're shooting popcorn guns at us.
yeah.
And the popcorn like turns into like, I don't know, little Jack in the Box evil puppet
Plants. Yeah.
plant, little I don't know what to call this thing.
Yeah. Who knows?
They had to have their
Little
psycho
cobra
scene
snakes.
in there.
Yeah, exactly. The terrifying shower scene. But anyway, and then it's really weird too, because like those two ice cream guys, they're like, "What are we waiting for?" And they like tickle each other. It's kind of weird. They got a weird relationship with each other, as well with everybody else in this film. But, and then there's a great line with, is it Mooney? It's either Mooney or someone. He's like, "I made it through Korea. I can make it through this bullshit." It was insane. It was the cop.
And they dropped the F bomb.
Yeah,
in
it
this
was
movie.
Moody.
When I was like, what the
Did
fuck?
they drop the F bomb? I don't.
Yeah, it was
remember
when
them
he was
dropping
like,
it.
it was when he was on the phone and he was like, if you think you can do this, F you, over. It was when he was talking to his partner.
That's right. I think I remember
It was
that.
PG-13. You got to have that F word.
Yeah, that's right.
What?
Yeah, that was insane. That was absolutely insane.
But up until that point, it may as well have been a kids movie. I felt like this was like
I would never show my
being stuck
children
inside
this.
like being locked and stuck inside a Chuck E. Cheese at night or something.
No, that's called Five Nights at Freddy's.
There was one other line too from the ice cream guys when they're like, "Look at us, we're not morons." I'm like, well, you did think that an ice cream truck gig was gonna get you. So I mean, I guess you're probably the most moronic people that I've ever met and ever.
Hey, but
seen
it did.
in-
They ended up with those
survived.
clown chicks.
No, what's crazy is they survived doing, dude, Indiana Jones 4 and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull stole it from this movie. The two ice cream men survived the giant catastrophic
From the
explosion
freezer.
from hiding
Oh,
in
the
the
freezer.
fridge, dude. They actually hid in the freezer, and I was like, dude, Indiana Jones stole it from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, dude. That's insane.
They did it first.
Spielberg
Yeah,
must be a
they did
fan of this movie.
Yes, Spielberg was
Clearly.
like, dude, that Killer Clowns, man, this is brilliant stuff. Oh my gosh. Again, they had this line with like the boys. I celebrated too soon. I thought the ice cream boys died. I really did. I was like, there's no way they get out of that one. Sure enough, I just love when he's like,
It
they
reminded me of
always
Good
land on their
Burger.
feet and they back the truck into this giant clown and the ice cream truck explodes. I mean, this is the biggest shot of the movie. An ice cream truck is rigged with explosives and it blows up. Like, I don't know why an ice cream truck would blow up from the back. Like, it's
It's 21
rigged with
Jump Street, Ty.
explosives.
The chicken coop just explodes.
Exactly, it just exploded.
No,
and from the rear, it didn't explode from like the engine in the front. It just blew up from the rear.
It reminds me so much of the end of Good Burger when they're driving when he's like fudgesicle. That's it, when the guy was offering after they got out of the explosion. That totally reminded me of Good Burger. I was like, this is literally the exact same thing,
Oh my gosh!
except
Jordan,
100 times worse.
I said I needed a palate cleanser because I do want to see. Is it the guy that made Art of Self-Defense that's making Rune or Dune or whatever?
Yeah, Duel. I just watched
Duel.
it. I
What'd you
liked.
think?
I liked the discussion with my wife after more than the movie itself.
Yeah. Poses questions.
Well, because I felt like Faults was his best, and then Art of Self-Defense,
Faults.
and then Duel was. I enjoyed it, but it feels like an episode of Black Mirror. I feel like it's a better TV show than a movie.
Interesting.
Interesting.
But I did say we need a palate cleanser after watching Everything Everywhere All at Once because it was one of my favorite movies.
Did you
of
get
the
it,
year,
Ty?
in my top 10. Yeah, I did. I saw that.
No, I'm saying, did you get the palate cleansing? Did it work?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was yeah, this movie did it. It more than cleansed my palate. It left the bitter aftertaste in my mouth. So now I want to see anything that's not this. Anything but this. This movie was absolutely bonkers. I don't really have two favorite things except to say that the young cop, he was awesome. And the old cop. The two cops were my favorite. Mooney was terrifying, scarier than any of the clowns in this. And then, yeah, the young cop, he was like so idealistic. He was so good. He was so pure and self-sacrificing. I thought he was funny and really, really intense.
Because it wasn't horror, like you said, or comedy. So it just felt somewhere in between where it just kind of like
Didn't work.
It kind of felt like it coasted. I just feel like there's moments like I'm like, oh, this would be like a really funny Nickelodeon moment where remember the guy's in the invisible car and he's like bumping into the guy. I really wanted like a facial reaction of the guy being like, wah, wah, and like exploding.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, their clown cars like bumping into him, and they're having like this high intense speed chase. They
guy
have
was
it labeled as a
hilarious.
comedy, horror, sci-fi. It lacks on the comedy, it lacks in the scares, and sci-fi was very underwhelming and posed no real questions because they didn't ask any questions. And anytime they did, they're like, "Oh, we can't explain." We can't explain this. I'm like, just the movie's only like an hour and 20 minutes long. Like, please just give us 10 more minutes of like at least dialogue and exposition. So I feel like I understand the clown's motives, where they're headed. What's the clown's end goal? They have this giant monster slow-mo clown that appears at the end. And I thought he was going to do something, revealed their passion.
And then he just uses his badge and pops his nose.
It's his badge because he uses the law. He follows the law to the. So I'm trying to find some deeper meaning in this. He just takes his badge and pops his nose. It's insane.
Apparently, their noses are filled with air.
The deeper meaning is that I do not recommend this.
The deeper meaning is, yeah, follow the law, the letter of the law. It'll.
I would
get you out
recommend
of a
Trolls
jam.
2. Is it Trolls or Troll?
Troll.
Troll 2 before this one.
Troll 2, yeah, one troll.
Because I
Or is it
enjoyed that
Trolls
one
2?
better.
Yeah, no, I can't
No, it's
remember.
Troll. It's Troll 2.
Singular troll.
Yeah. And
And there's many, and they're actually goblins. It's Nilbog. Goblins are pirates. That movie's mismarketing. At least this movie actually has the line "Killer clowns from outer space." Holy shiz! Like that's actually what you get in this movie. And the aliens don't talk, which is such a
Nilbog is
mistake.
goblin spelled backwards.
Never gets old.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't even go into who's in this movie. Guys, check it out if you want. I've seen this movie around. I think our cousins owned this or something. I've seen the case for it with the earth like
I've seen it before,
cracked
too.
and frayed, and the little alien or clown finger is like spinning out like a top on its finger. It just says "Killer Clowns from Outer Space." It's crazy with 2 A's and 2 Z's. This movie's anything but.
Oh, and
I mean, it
apparently,
is
Ty,
bonkers. How did this get
you
made?
said
I don't know.
Ghoulies wasn't a good movie, but apparently fans like the second one, so we might have to do that one.
Oh, the second one. Yeah, the first one was boring and beyond belief.
And,
Even
and
this
Ty,
movie,
in the
Killer
trailer,
Clowns.
it showed him pop out of a toilet. So did you watch the whole movie or did you not finish it?
I watched the whole movie. The ghoulie never appeared. I
Ty,
swear
look at
to
the
you.
trailer. He pops out of the toilet, so maybe they cut it.
Maybe if I see the scene, yeah. Maybe if I see
Or maybe you
the
blinked and
trailer-
missed it.
Maybe I watched the whole fetching movie thinking that scene was coming up because I wanted to know what it was about. This ghoulie was like one of the best visually scarring cases of a movie I've ever seen. Like some little creature in your toilet. That's terrifying, right? It's like Dreamcatcher. Like Dreamcatcher should have marketed it that way, right? Freaking Earl or whatever his name is. I always call him Earl. Alvin the Chipmunks guy with the freaking diarrhea aliens. What do you call them?
I was so excited to review
demons.
this
What is it
movie.
called?
Because I remembered liking it, so I bought a T-shirt of this movie, and now I'm like, oh no.
You bought a T-shirt of what? Of Killer Clowns?
Yes.
what does it say?
It's just Killer Clowns from the Outer Space, and it's got the big one with the puppet, giant killer clown at the end.
Oh gosh. Well, I won't be hugging you in that shirt.
When I saw Grandma, I said, I'm keeping the tradition alive. Because remember, she used to have those clown paintings in her house?
They probably put more love and care into that T-shirt than anyone making on the production of this film.
Do you remember that, Ty? Ty, those photos of those clowns Grandma
I do
painted?
remember.
Those used to scare me to death.
Yeah, there was an orange one and a blue one. The blue one had no hair. I still remember vividly. And the orange one, they were both frowning. Sad clown paintings
Yeah,
in our house.
scary.
And at night, if I ever saw them when I was running down the hall, I would run past them. It scared me to death.
Dude,
Why did we have those?
The
We
wolf,
had two
dude, the
clowns.
wolf
Those were
blanket
terrifying.
that we had used
Grandma
to always
painted
scare
'em.
me at night. When I would see the wolf
Grandma,
blanket
why?
downstairs, I would run.
I love you, Grandma.
Because back in the day,
come
Ty,
on.
clowns were apparently a thing you'd bring to birthday parties.
People were starved for entertainment. They're like, let's just shock our kids. Let's just give them nightmares. Because we have nothing else going on other than starving to death and our miserable existence before TV existed. I guess that's what parents, they got all their sick kicks, was by terrifying their children at parties. Like, they had no TV and entertainment. What's more entertaining than scaring the shiz out of our children? Like, makes no sense. Anyway, do you guys have any other quotes or things you want to throw about this movie?
Do not recommend, but I do want to say what I've seen.
I know,
I
sadly,
would say
I want to,
watch
but
it
I
with
can't.
friends. Watch it with friends.
Yeah, watch
Get
it in a
high,
group.
Maybe in a
watch
big
it.
group.
I mean, high off life and watch it, of course. Let's go around say things that we've seen lately, because everything that we've seen lately is more interesting than this movie. I watched a great movie called I Want You Back. It's got Charlie Day and Jenny Slate. Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's actually a really good romantic comedy. I liked it. It was really funny. It's got Clint Eastwood's son. I'm always going to call him Clint Eastwood's son is something Eastwood. But he was in
From Wrath of Man?
That Eastwood. Anyway, it was a fun romantic comedy. It was kind of fun. Charlie Day was really good. And it was well done. I liked it. And then I watched Brick, which is a Ryan Johnson film.
Yeah, I saw
Ryan
that
Johnson was the guy that made Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Who could forget? And
Also, the guy from 500 Days of Summer.
This movie stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I actually liked it. It was actually, I understand where his love of noir films come from, or like you can see all the elements of like Agatha Christie, Knives Out, even elements of like Star Wars. Strangely,
I
Or,
get this
in
vibe
his early
though,
film.
from the writing that it's like, oh yeah, we're so clever.
It's pretentious. Oh yeah,
Yes.
it's very pretentious.
And it
yeah.
makes me nauseous watching it. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
like
I
we
liked
get
it though because
you're a good
the
writer.
movie came out in the '90s and it was like, but it was an homage to like brooding detective, but it was done from high schoolers' perspective, which I
Yeah.
thought was fun because
I
to
like
my
that
knowledge,
aspect.
it hadn't been done. Yeah, it hadn't been done at least to that extent where it was a high school film first, but no, it technically was like a detective story with the high school motif, which was kind of weird because I wish they would have done more high school stuff. There was one great joke where the mother comes in of this drug dealer and like she's like, "Do you boys want any cookies or something?" It's like really fun, and he's like, "No, Ma." It reminded me of like Wedding Crashers, meatloaf, like just like this total womanizer that still lives at home with his mother. This guy's like a drug dealer, and he's like the bad talk of the town. He has people killed, and he lives at home with his mom.
That
I
was
love
pretty
it. It was
funny,
really
yeah.
funny. That was a great scene. Anyway, so if you're interested and you guys love that, the dame was. It's like Sin City, basically, It's like, the dame was hard to kill for. She was a good girl, but, was in the wrong crowd, that thing. And he's like trying to solve this murder mystery. It is that. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt does a good performance, I think. And there were some really laugh out loud moments in the movie where someone's chasing him. He removes his shoes and slides out and makes the guy trip over him and he hits his head on a pole. It's insane. It's insane explaining it to you. It's more comical than The Killer Clowns. So check it out if you're interested. So, that was it for what I've seen. So Cameron, what about you? What have you seen?
I went and saw Ambulance with Jordan. Pretty wild. Jake Gyllenhaal's performance is amazing.
Yeah. Do you like it? Is it worth going to go see? I mean, I want to go see it now.
I think it's worth a watch. I don't think it's worth watching in the theaters. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I went and saw that. That was pretty bonkers. It was really good. It's kind of like...
Dude, we missed you on the pod for that, Cameron. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it. I put it in my top 10 films, Cameron. Did you
dang.
enjoy it? What did you think?
Yeah, but you haven't
Yeah.
updated your IMDb page, Ty, so I don't know where it ranks.
It's at the very bottom, but I need to slide it up. But I just threw it on my list because I need to go through it and edit it.
Yeah.
But it is on the list at the very bottom.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. It was great. It was kind of
Yeah,
like
okay.
if Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was made by Swiss Army Man, which is essentially what the movie is.
That is an interesting take on it. And quick question, do you like this movie more than Swiss Army Man?
I need to see what my rating on Swiss Army Man is, but I'm just
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I think I like Swiss Army Man a bit better.
See, me and Grant find
I just
Everything
laughed.
Everywhere All at Once is better.
Yeah,
and
I
think
gave
you
Swiss
enjoyed
Army
it.
Man
Do you
a
like Swiss
9.
Army Man better, Jordan?
I like the music.
Oh yeah, the music's
Better.
amazing in Swiss Army Man.
I don't know. Like I'm back and forth.
I laughed more in Swiss Army Man. I mean, obviously the visuals and like, even the visuals. I mean, just the action was really good, and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I definitely laughed more in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Really?
There were some of the funniest
See,
gags.
the raccoon was my favorite. The raccoon was just the best part of the
At
film.
length, we talked about the raccoon, the raccatooey or
Raccacoonie.
Raccacoonie. I don't even know what the word they used for it.
Well, ratatouille, and then just switch it to raccacooey.
Raccacooey. I know, but Cameron's saying raccoon cooey.
Raccacooey.
I thought it was Raccacoonie.
Raccacoonie. I don't even know. But the scene where he's like, she's seen too much is, I literally almost started crying in the theater. I just thought that was the funniest thing. I wish we'd seen that together because that was by far the funniest thing. Just, it's like this fucking raccoon. Oh my gosh.
And then
So great.
I also watched Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and I'm sorry to disappoint Ty. It is the first one is better than that.
Yes.
That's crazy that you think that. I don't know why.
I gave it a set. I don't know. It just seemed kind of long, and
Seemed long.
I will watch.
It didn't
I'm
offer
gonna watch.
anything that the first one didn't.
I'm gonna watch War, but it was kind of
That's
fun.
crazy
It
to me, yeah.
was fun to see. What's his name? Koba rebel, and there was so many
Dude.
because I had seen that movie
Great film.
forever ago, and so like there's when it was like bits and pieces were coming back because I was like, oh snap, they're already gonna attack. I forgot Koba shot him. Oh my god, a freaking snitch, dude.
Snitch. Worse than a snitch. A freaking traitor. Mutiny. Yeah, that was insane.
I think it's just because me and Cameron are not a Matt Reeves fan. Sorry, Ty. Oh, yeah.
Who directed the first one?
I don't know, but it wasn't Matt. That's for
And then what's it called? I also rewatched Green Book with Jordan and the family.
Yeah, great movie, Cameron. I wouldn't put it in my top 100, though.
Okay, I don't give.
Yeah,
you guys
Cameron
can suss
just needs to virtue signal how not racist he is when he forgot to add any African Americans in his top 10 actors list. So he's got to work really hard to come
Oh, shoot,
back
I gotta
and
start
grovel.
adding movies.
I gotta start adding.
Very similar feel to the movie 42. If you like the movie 42, you'll enjoy that one. And then
That's the Harrison Ford grumpy baseball man, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
You're gonna play baseball.
and Chadwick Boseman does a really good performance in that. He's a really good actor. I like him.
Vin,
Whoa,
No,
was
Vin
a good
Diesel?
actor.
No,
Isn't
what-
he dead? Or
Yeah,
wait, is
he
Chadwick
passed
Boseman-
away. Yeah, he passed away because
what-
of cancer.
What's the guy from Lord of the
Poor
Rings?
guy. Lord of the Rings? What? There's
Oh,
many
the guy
guys
you
from Lord of
love?
the Rings.
From Green Book?
Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah, Viggo, he gave an amazing performance, though. I will admit that. Oh, my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's bonkers.
When does my boy Viggo not perform? He
That's why
always
I'm
brings
saying
it
I thought
110.
you would like Eastern Promises because his performance is unbelievable, but apparently...
I do like it. For
You
some
didn't think
reason,
that scene when he like puts his hands up against his throat, like, oh my gosh, I got chills. Dude, he's so good. He plays
That
an
was good.
amazing Russian accent.
It was. For some reason, this sounds bad. I thought like maybe I've just seen too many people parody like a bathhouse fight. That one was like a serious bathhouse fight, and it was
Yeah.
very, very upsetting to watch.
Yeah,
But then
exactly.
again,
So good.
but it is good. It's good. I'm not saying it wasn't a good movie. I'm just like, I'll never watch it again. Does that make sense?
Shame.
Like you're gonna watch that movie again? You're
I've
gonna put
seen
it
it
on
3
again
times.
for friends?
It's so good.
What's the matter with you?
Dude,
Do you like crying?
David
Do you,
Cronenberg
like,
is
hate
so
yourself?
good. Body horror. That opening scene where he's
There's not
slitting the
enough-
guy's throat.
There's not enough
Oh my gosh.
body horror in it though to be a David Cronenberg. Like go watch freaking Possessor or watch. Oh, that's his son, I guess.
That's his son.
I know. What am I talking about? But no, I mean like watch all the other Cronenberg things. The
I
Fly,
do.
great
I watch
example.
them. I got Eastern Promises and Videodrome on my top 100 because they're amazing.
I do want to see Videodrome now because I enjoy each time I watch them, but I just remember thinking like, oh, I'm not going to watch it again. That's all I thought after I
Yeah,
finished.
well,
it.
you're not
It's like-
gonna. You're probably gonna think the same thing with this because
Which is funny because like I didn't realize this. Like they're on my 100 list, top 100 movies of all time. Very few of them I don't find rewatchable. Does that make sense?
no, that's me
a
too.
big factor. Oh, okay.
A lot of my
Is that-
top 100, I rewatched
Rewatch them.
David Cronenberg's movies a lot because they are so
I know
visually
you
cool.
do. You cried when you watched The Fly put the shotgun between his eyes, like.
No, actually, I've only seen that movie once.
Well, there you go. I've seen it once.
It's not in my
and
top
somehow
100.
it's not in your top 100.
Okay. Anyway, what I'm looking
Sorry,
forward to is there's a couple like Basic Instinct, 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, American History X.
Do you watch these movies or you have them on your list?
These are what I'm looking forward to. Cheap.
Okay.
Listen.
Those are some pretty intense ones, Cameron. You're
And
about
then-
to see in prison.
Oh my gosh. Is
Which one was that? Ebbing?
Billboards?
No, that's
American
not
History
Billboards.
X. I just told
American
Cameron,
History X.
if you like Green Book, this is like the rated R version of that.
I mean, yeah, it's yeah, sure.
And
That's
then
some Nazi,
also
right?
Lars and the Real Girl. I heard like a really good recommendation of Lars and the Real Girl. Have you guys seen it?
Oh yeah, it's really funny.
I've
I'm
heard
sorry,
Lars
not
and the
funny.
Real Girl.
It's like
I've heard
It's,
Ryan Gosling is really
sad
good
and
in it.
sweet. Yeah, I mean, like if you're big into Ryan Gosling, I definitely showcases his acting range.
Yes.
Sweet
Yeah,
to-
see, I loved
It's-
him in. I've been
It's like
kind of on a binge
watching-
of him lately.
I don't know why I'm going to compare. It's like watching The Truman Show with Jim Carrey. You're like, this is not what I expect for this actor, and that was a pleasant surprise. And the movie dealing with such a weird plot, it was good.
I
liked
mean,
it.
I was pleasantly surprised with the role that I was not expecting from him with the Nice Guys. Holy shiz, he is so fetching funny in that movie.
He's a funny guy.
Cried
Funny
multiple
guy.
times.
I love funny, Nice Guys. I love that movie. That
Do you
was so
think
funny.
I'm stupid? Ever since your time coming around my house, I've been carrying this baby with me all the time. When he's like sitting down the toilet with the gun, with the magazine, and he keeps trying to open the door.
Love
yeah,
it,
you know what I'm looking forward to? The Northman. Oh, I bought my tickets. I'm so excited. Oh my yes.
Northman. I'm just gonna make a prediction. I don't think it's gonna live up to Jordan's expectations. So there's that.
Another
Who could've
Batman,
seen
and then I'll be
this?
so
Yeah.
bad I'll bury it.
Yeah, and then you'll bury it behind some other indie film that no one cared to watch. Anyway, who cares? We don't do the podcast. In fact, that's why we do the podcast, folks, to bring you entertainment, and we love it. Are you looking forward to anything else, Jordan? Or seen anything else lately? What else have you been watching?
I've been watching Prison Break. Oh
Other
my
than
gosh.
Prison Break again?
Yes, I love it.
Showing your wife it, or is
No,
it
I have it playing in the background while I edit because I finished Dexter. I finished the whole series.
Dude, Prison
Dexter
Break
again?
season 1
Yeah.
and 2. Season 1, 10 out of 10. Season 2, 9 out of 10. And then after that, it's just copy and paste.
It's true.
Yeah, I tried to get through the season 3 when they're in like that jail with no guards, and I can't do it.
I finished it. Season 4, though, I could not follow anything. I was like, what is going on? This movie is bananas.
Dude,
Well, isn't the
Michaels.
problem that he escapes in the first one, or the
Yeah,
second?
but they're
isn't
on
it-
the run in the second season, which is really
So
fun.
that's kind of fun.
And then
yeah.
season
But
three,
then
he gets
season 3
caught.
he goes into a prison in, is it Peru or where
And
is he?
Panama, I think.
Panama
Yeah,
or something?
Panama, and
And
that
there's no
prison-
guards, and it's just
Yeah,
all
the-
riots, and it's just,
Yeah, so they have guards on the outside,
and they're trying to stay alive in there. So
Sounds
And-
exciting.
yeah, I enjoyed it. But it's literally Cameron said copy and paste. It's from the first movie.
from the first season.
From the
Yeah,
first
because
show,
the
yeah.
first season is so good
They
because
had
there's
all
like
this
so
stuff,
many
yeah.
mess ups in their plan and stuff like that, and so stressful. And then it's just like,
I do want to watch it. I remember it being such a big show. I remember hearing everyone watched it when it came
That
out.
first season, yeah.
it was-
yeah. And
Because
what's this?
First episode, it's like he gets all his tattoos, and it's like the map. You're like, what?
Yeah, of the prison. It's bonkers.
See, I love everything you're describing. I'm like, dude, I want to strap
Oh,
in
it's
and
so
watch it.
good.
But then I'm
And then
like,
you
but
find out
it's the
he's
same thing
wrongfully
when every time I get the gumption to watch like the big one, the Game of Thrones, I just keep thinking about how much everyone hated the ending, and they're like, the show was not worth it. I'm like, then why would I sit through 9
Every
seasons
show
to
is like
get
that,
there?
though. The Office,
Not
like, I
every
don't even
show.
care for the last season.
Oh, the last season, like
Yeah.
in general. Like,
Oh,
what
Ty,
shows are you talking
what are we
about?
looking forward to? Try Better Call Saul,
Better
the
Call
final
Saul.
season.
And Atlanta, I can't wait. Every episode of Atlanta comes out, and Better
Yeah.
Call Saul. I've got 2 of my favorite shows going right now. I feel like it's summer vacation. Summer vacation.
Bow, chicka,
The
bow.
key
See,
word
that's
there
a-
is
that's
vacation.
what parents don't understand. Vacation.
You gotta explain things to
My parents make her get a summer job.
Vacation. See what I'm
Ow,
saying?
ow,
Ow.
ow. I'll get a summer job. That is a movie
Bro,
that
this
is
cool.
better than this movie that we just reviewed that you need to go check out. Good Burger.
Yo, question, Jordan. Did you, there's The Brood, right? That's a David Cronenberg,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I
Or
watched
is it
that one.
Carpenter? Is that good?
The little kids are running around stabbing people. I don't know.
Sounds
It's
interesting.
interesting.
What about The Bronx Tale? It looks like Heat. Is it like Heat? What's Bronx Tale?
A
I've heard
Bronx
it's
Tale?
good.
No, it's more like Casino Royale, but no, sorry,
Casino?
and
Casino.
Yeah, but it's like because it's a bunch of Italians, and it's like, but it's more cheesy. I couldn't even
Hey, I
finish
don't
it.
understand what anybody's saying. Huh?
The first half is pretty fun because they're like, "Hey, he's a good kid, that good." They're all talking to each other like that, but the second half when the kid grows up, it's just like, oh, this is cringy acting.
Well, I don't know what to watch then because those are like movies on my list. I
What
guess
the
I
heck?
have Before
I can send you a
Sunset,
bajillion
Before
movies.
Sunrise, and Before Midnight. I wanted to see those 3 movies with Ethan Hawke. And
Yeah, those are in the Criterion
because
collection.
I've been watching Midnight or Moon Knight, whatever it's called.
Oh,
the
yeah, Moon
forgettable.
Knight.
I love Oscar Isaac. I'm going to support support him in everything he does, but I can't help but feel like, dude, if you're in trouble and Disney, blink twice. Like, if you need to get out, get back into independent filmmaking. I feel the same way about Taika Waititi. I just watched Love and Thunder trailer, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're supposed to have some emotional reaction to a woman Thor, and I feel nothing. I'm such a cynic. I feel nothing.
I don't care for the politics of Disney, but I do love his jokes.
See, I don't even remember the woman Thor in the trailer, Ty, so...
She's literally the last shot where it's like, oh, because the hand comes in the air and grabs Mjolnir or whatever the fudge's hammer's name is, and then it's like, Thor like looks, and then it's a woman, and you're like, oh, wow.
It's
and
okay.
Again,
she's not the second person to wield it. Cap was.
I know. That's
he's not even a god. He's a man.
Men
He's
did it
an
better.
American
That's all I'm
man.
saying. Yeah, did it better. Just saying. Sorry, folks. They did it with Hawkeye. They're doing it with Moon Knight. They're doing it with every show now. I'm like, all you have to watch is all your superheroes be emasculated and oftentimes killed. Looking at you, No Time to Die, which literally is the time to die. They literally put to rest James Bond. Sorry, I spoiled that movie for you folks if you haven't seen it.
I still haven't seen it. I still need to watch it.
It's called No Time to Die, and they're like, it is time for James Bond to die. Everybody, this has been Futro Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuromovies@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment in our videos. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube. And everybody, it's been Futro Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace. Ah! Killer clowns from outer space. Oh my gosh!